conversation in a respectful way, she is going to just kick me and ban me from everything. It's my point of view that this is to prevent me from responding to anything, and to prevent me from speaking about my side of this.
Either overtly or by complicity. Like, you're actually unironically making the argument right now.
Okay, well, to be clear, by complicity is not the same thing as what we were talking
They
about.
are functionally the same! Oh my god.
They're functionally...
I cannot believe this. Hold on. I have to ask you. Because
Sure.
this is... Alright, hold on. If you... Let's like create a hypothetical political party where the person who I voted for, like the person who you were voting for was like a a trans fascist, all right, and they believe that, like, all cis people need to die immediately. And I looked at that and I was like, well, you know, I mean, like, I don't really care so much about that issue, but like, I like the other stuff that they're talking about, so I guess like I'm fine with it. Like, are you unironically going to say that I'm not complicit in that action by voting for that person? Like, if you were to die.
You would be complicit if you vote for someone. You are complicit in whatever they do.
Okay, cool. So that's what we're talking about.
I was not contending with that. I was talking about what conservatives on the ground believe, Riley.
Yeah, and if you either overtly or complicitly, if you either agree with these things overtly or conversely, if you're complicit in them, if you acknowledge that those things exist but you don't do anything about them, then that's that's tantamountly the same.
Okay, I disagree, but I need to say something really quick. How can I go back in the stream and actually clip this for you? Because I actually don't functionally know how to do this, and I want to demonstrate that I actually did come in here in good faith. Because I actually...
You actually came in here in good faith?
Wait,
I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at my chat. Like, everyone seems to agree that you're like either trolling or very like seriously trying to gaslight. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm literally trying to ask you for help so I can provide you with the evidence right now.
I only watched a little bit of Drew and Anna Pearls. I know what you're talking about, though.
Oh, if you're not,
I know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure that I make it so that only subscribers or followers, one of the two, are able to clip. Because often people come in here and they try to like pull some
Riley's
shit where they like
an early start.
I
understand.
They're trying to...
Oh, my full response is up now. Wait, when did this happen? This is 3 days ago. Okay.
Hold on. All right, now I'm incredibly confused. So do you actually not... So do you agree, then, with the idea that literally all conservative propaganda is based on inciting fear? So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I said that. I said that my contention, and I said this immediately when I came in, my contention was with the positions that you were putting forward as mainstream conservative positions, not the first thing.
Okay. I didn't... All right, if people in chat, you can give me a 1 if you think that... If you are all able to understand that in chat, if you all completely...
Okay, so we saw this. This was March 24th. Wait, so that must have been an old VOD of Destiny that I was watching, right? Was that an old VOD of Destiny? Okay, so this is like fucking 4 days ago or something when this conversation... When Drew posted this conversation yesterday. Okay, so March 23rd was when it actually happened. Now, on the 25th, Drew makes his response video. There he is.
Hey, everybody. So, yeah.
Bit of a...
I got into it with RGR the other day, and it was a really bad situation. So today I'm going to be making a video kind of responding to it. I'm going to kind of go through a bunch of different stuff about me because I feel like I've been
oh my god, it's an hour-long chat.
By Riley, and made out to be some sort of bad
also,
actor.
Is it loud enough? Can you hear it?
So yeah, that's what
this is as loud as the volume gets.
I need to issue a brief disclaimer that no one from this video should consider
negative 30 dB
audience or interested in me if you seek to harass anybody afterwards. And I have a strict no misgendering policy on any of my platforms. I will ban you, delete comments, do whatever. It's not tolerated.
Hey Bretson, what's up?
I don't have big spaces, but I will not allow that in them. That being said, this video is going to consist of roughly 3 parts. The first part will be somewhat of a prologue, giving a little bit of context to who I am, what I believe, and some other introductory related topics. The second part will be like my values and thoughts, like slightly prior to the conversation, like where my head was at about to go into the conversation.
Sorry about that.
And then the final part will actually
sorry for everybody who this is really quiet for.
I had with Riley and the specific concerns I had with Riley during the conversation. Given the way that this is laid out, it's going to take a bit to actually get to the conversation, but I feel like this is necessary given the way that I've been misrepresented by Riley in the aftermath of the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been...
Does anybody know, does Riley have a response? I'm guessing Riley must have a response too, right? There's no way that... The sound is a bit low, but unfortunately that's as high as it goes.
Riley doesn't even know me. I'm convinced at this point that I don't...
It's hard to hear. Yeah, I know.
Anything about me other than that I appeared on her Twitter feed. So yeah, let's jump into the first part here. So part 1.
Yeah, literally as high as I can go.
In part 1, we're going to do the following. Okay, we're going to walk through a couple of the takes that I've had on panels, just to show that when I'm interacting with other people within these spaces, I have not been treated in a similar way that Riley has treated me. Additionally, each of these clips will feature...
Please don't be my clip.
Centristy? I mean, whatever. I'm on the right. I'm not going to hide my power level, whatever all that means, but these are sort of the types of views that are most interesting for me to express, because I'm trying to find a way to bridge the gap of understanding with people and try to find some sort of middle ground on things. So the next couple clips are going to be the... one clip is going to be me talking about why I believed that Donald Trump should have been impeached following the Capitol Hill riots. The clip after that, if I'm remembering correctly, the order of these things, is going to be me talking about how...
Yeah, can anybody check and see if there's a RGR response?
Government-funded contraceptive.
Did Daddy just get banned? Daddy? Why are you saying bad things about Dick?
See the dynamics that actually occur
Who's
when I
Dick?
interact with people, and they're very respectful. The last clip is going to be an attempt for me to try to help everybody on a panel understand.
Daddy, why are you so angry, Daddy?
It was so peaceful up here, but now there are freaking communists invading radicals.
Thank you so much.
Think that
thank you for the resub, Siltoid.
Criticize Connor.
Yeah.
She appreciated that I was trying to give him.
Can people?
So this is just a couple clips. I could go
hear this at all?
About, like, all the panels I've been on. I've been on a lot of panels, primarily on Prime.
I'm hoping maybe his panel clips are better than he is.
So these are just going to be a couple clips of me talking about what I believe with other people, so you can see that this is not something that's happened before.
All right, Drew.
Oh
yeah. So to answer the question,
yeah, no, it's not like
the first impeachment has anything to do with whether or not it's right to impeach Donald Trump now. I think it's clear that what happened at the Capitol is one of the worst moments in America.
No, their name was Daddy.
Witness to, and even as somebody on the right,
their name was, it was like in their name and
misinformation for fucking months, and you incite a riot. You don't deserve to be able to.
But don't worry, I said it with a soft Y.
I don't really care if people think that they want to vote for him in the future. He has proven that he's a danger to the country and has committed things that the president should not be involved in.
Oh my god, this is so cringe. I remember this
one. He should
one.
be able to run again. So fucking impeach him every day of the week.
Address it at the end of guns. Address it at the root cause. I don't understand this argumentation.
I also just want to formally state as the righty. I don't think there's I don't think that there's a contradiction between like the pro-life thing that Destiny mentioned here. I think that I agree with the mental health thing. It's unfortunate that mental health gets brought up so much only within the context insofar as we can use it as a cudgel against the other political side. I'm against that. I don't agree with it at all, especially like when the right likes to say like, oh, well, the conversation around gun violence should really be about mental health. I don't think that it should be. I think that the conversation around gun violence is separate from mental health. I don't think people with mental health issues are generally speaking violent. So I agree with that sentiment, but I don't think that just because you're pro-life, you have to be for gigantic social safety nets or anything like that. I think there's actually separate philosophical issues.
I would agree with you, Drew, but I mean, at the same time, I think if you actually wanted to do something about like reducing the number of abortions in this country, it does seem like from last I checked at the Guttmacher Institute, like the majority, somewhere between 40 and 50, maybe 60% of abortions are the result of basically resource constraints. Like people just don't feel like they're ready because they don't have the resources to have a baby.
Sure.
And I mean, I agree that like that
Wait,
doesn't.
Is it?
You can believe
It's
that you
louder
have the
now,
right to
right?
kill
On the
an
clip.
unborn human and not feel obligated, not be morally obligated.
Maybe I'll
to also
fix
spend
that too. I can edit that. I can turn up
if you're
the
trying to reduce the numbers,
you can cut that out and
Well,
then
so to be
cut the
clear, my
volume.
particular ideas on this would probably be on more like on the contraception side, so like providing contraception rather than simply like I'm not for abortion. Like if you want to actually talk about decreasing it, like I actually don't know what I think about social safety nets because I never get to get that far with lefties. I'm sort of not formed my thoughts on that, but I'm more for contraception than anything that was just said, just because I think it's from what I understand, it's super cheap and just good
and that's
all
like
around.
another really good, like somebody will talk about how like adamantly they oppose things like abortions and whatnot. It's like, okay, cool. What about like sex ed in high school and easier access to contraception? And then they'll be opposed to that too. And it's like, well, what the fuck do you want? Like, what is your like?
Yeah, and there's reasons for that, and I could talk about it all day, but I do think that I think the contraception needs to be the conversation around that needs to be normalized on the right for sure.
Definitely. We have
So we're just seeing some centristy viewpoints here expressed.
The stuff with Connor, I would say something that people like on the left like to say a lot. I think that just because someone's upset,
The sound is really bad. You're right,
I
chat.
think that it can be frustrating as someone who exists on the right to feel consistently mischaracterized or misunderstood. So maybe that's why he came into this.
Also, the panel is really cringe.
On edge, ready to like get mischaracterized. I'm actually gonna go. I might actually end up
These
going
panels.
to the afterwards to see actually what specifically happened because I don't.
Dude, I'm so like Prime is so fucking.
Yeah, maybe that'll interesting.
It was him. Remember?
About it.
He's crying.
Okay, I don't think we can hear this at all.
First part here is just going to be simply, I have to rebut this claim immediately that I don't care about facts. Okay, so basically all I'm going to do here is just I'm going to show my Google Keep where I keep all my citations for school, or like when I look up a topic, I always try to see if there's data associated with it. And even though I haven't read every line of everything that I have in my citation doc, what about, like, for example, moral foundations theory, I have like 15 or 16 citations or something.
Okay,
like
so
that.
he's showing us citations, like, you know, stuff that he's got in his
somewhere in here,
Mendeley or something.
Like, the left just wants to like come around and take your children and forcibly transition them or whatever. That's obviously ridiculous, and rather than reacting to the left's actual positions, now that subsection of the right that is reacting to that is reacting.
So he's, you know, kind of offering some.
How are you?
I am doing just fine.
Oh wait, this is the portion. Okay.
Positions.
This is Riley's. This is Riley's video, right?
I think this conversation goes on. And yeah, I said that's a really interesting way to classify.
Oh my god, thank you.
But now they're a freaking communist invading
and look, he's in the waiting room.
Shuffle Cuddy.
So hey, let's have a chat.
So wait, whoa. Let's read your Twitter first. Okay. That's quite interesting way to classify pretty widespread Republican view. Want to come on stream and chat about it? Debate Lord. I'm going live right now. Black people, they're invading your suburbs. Mexican people, they're invading your country. Muslims, we literally imposed a travel ban because Republicans unironically think they're all terrorists. Oh, and somehow trans people are the most pressing danger in the country right now. You listed a series of strawman positions for the right as evidence of your first claim. And so he's like, sure, he will. He does. He agrees. He says, I shall come on. Indeed. Yes. Riley, let's do this. So, now I guess we're caught up? Wait. What was the first, does she show the first Drew, like, tweet? There's the... No? Yeah, I don't think there's anything more. Okay, so that's all the context we're gonna get, because I'm not gonna go search this thread out, and I don't even know if it's still up.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, hold on. That's
Can you hear me okay?
Output device. Can you hear me? No. Input device. Ah, there we go. Can you hear me?
You good?
All right, awesome.
What the fuck is Drew? I'm sorry, I shouldn't, like, comment on other people's, like, setups. Maybe it's this Bandicamp thing. I don't know.
How are you?
I just feel like, well, then again, Riley's got, Riley might have a lot more in terms of video processing than,
I am doing just fine. This is sort of a spur of the moment thing, but that's okay.
It's all good. So I see your opinion on here that apparently these are straw men positions, and I have to say, like, I'm a little confused by that, considering that most of these are like direct quotes from.
Can you all hear okay?
Or at least paraphrases, and so it's very hard for me to see how.
Can
this
we
is
cancel
a straw man
John?
when it seems to be like taking a 1-for-1.
Wait, John?
Quote from.
Who's John? Do you mean Drew?
People who are large leaders in the Republican Party.
So, well, there's a couple of things. I mean, first of all, so just to be perfectly clear, my objection is primarily to the positions you listed.
They have sound.
I think both sides.
John has sound issues.
The list of positions that you wrote out, as in the like quote unquote Republican positions. That's really what my objections to. I understand that like
there are positions that have been pushed by the Republican Party pretty widespread.
I mean, like, so specifically, like, one of these things that, like, seems like...
Thank you for giving Rondo the gift sub, Shapokitty.
My concern is that these are being portrayed as, like, mainstream conservative or mainstream Republican opinions. I don't think it's a mainstream Republican opinion that all Muslims are terrorists.
That's... Wait, hold on. Wait, I really... Hold on.
What you'll notice here is that
with
the full context, besides like reading through every making this.
I don't want to blow Drew up about his sound. Like, I don't know. The last person I criticized for their sound, like, banned me from their Discord chat, so I'm not gonna say anything.
It's extremely clear that at the beginning of the conversation, I am focusing on the positions that were listed as Republican positions, and Riley defends her point multiple times by.
In general, I shoot for yellow, and I try to like I try to stop it. Like, I try not to have much red,
Republican opinions,
or really any red.
She actually says that they're mainstream Republican opinions, so there's not actually, it's not really controversial what we're supposed to be.
But yeah, you want to be fully in the yellow.
Were made extremely clear, and Riley was responding specifically to those things. I'm going to link later in the conversation where Riley accuses me of gaslighting for not being upfront with my position.
So this isn't just the video. Okay, I also just want to watch the fucking video. Chat, has Riley posted either this video or...
They are different.
Let me look.
I mean, you're acknowledging that they're different. You're just saying they're functionally the same, correct?
Yes, they are. They are literally functionally the same. If you're
they're functionally the same. They're not the same thing.
Yes, they are functionally the same. Yes.
Yeah. So my contention is that there's a large constituency of Republicans that do not believe this, but they held their nose and voted for Trump anyway. That's my contention.
Yeah, and I would say that those people are just as bad in doing that action as people who voted for him because they overtly believe those things. I think I think that those are equivalent actions.
They might be equivalent actions if you're viewing them as a result of the consequences, but that's not what we're talking about here.
No,
we're talking about whether or not Republicans actually believe
literally
this
all conservative propaganda is based on inciting fear. Yes, if those people voted.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't watch her thing without...
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about these specific claims. That's what I specifically said when I came in here, was these positions, not like whether or not fear is used as a political tool.
All right, now I'm incredibly confused. So do you actually...
So I think this is the only place that we can get this, besides Destiny's video, where we don't even see the...
Yeah, I said that. I said that my contention, and I said this immediately when I came in, my contention was with the positions that you were putting forward as mainstream.
Yellow is good. Yeah, yellow is good.
Not the first thing.
Okay, I didn't. All right. If
Wait,
people
I think
in chat,
you're trying to.
if
Wait,
people in chat,
if
you
I'm
can give
not
me a
mistaken,
one if you think that if you are all able to understand that in chat, if you all completely understood that to be the case when he came in, you can give me a one in chat. I'm super interested in hearing. If you did not understand that to be the case,
you just don't
want to
go
because
to.
I'm super
You don't want to
concerned.
go
Like
to zero.
I have to know if I'm being gaslit on this right now because I feel like I am.
You don't want to go to
he,
negative 0 dB.
Disagreed with
Right.
all that.
Look, I'm
That's
fine
when
to
you-
I'm
that's
fine to
where
pull
you-
the clip. I'm
that's where
pretty
you
sure I
clip.
explicitly said that. What you'll notice here is that
I mean, there's different ways to clip, but that's one way to clip.
I can't tell if this is because Riley got lost in the
Tired of looking through the news
conversation
and
or
seeing that people were killed.
what specifically
This month
happened.
has been a
To
shitstorm.
me, when I make explicitly clear at the beginning of a conversation what I'm contending with, I say I'm concerned with this, and then later you accuse me of that not being my concern. I don't really know what to do with that. Insofar as like there was confusion surrounding it, it's clearly unintentional. I tried to be as explicit as I possibly could about what I was objecting to. My opinion is that if I am trying to be as charitable as possible, what I assume is that Riley is going to say, "Oh, I didn't explicitly say that I didn't agree with or I agreed with the first claim, but I actually wasn't able to. I tried to make that point at the beginning. You can hear me try to make that point. I'll link the small clip. It's hard to tell that I'm about to make that point because Riley interrupts me. You can hear me say that as in about to say fear, but I couldn't make
Damn
the point because Riley
femoids.
immediately interrupted
They
me.
always interrupt you.
And then we got
Femoids.
sidetracked, and then and you'll see, and I'll
That's
also
the
link
thing.
a few seconds prior to this where I said that I believe that.
Can a man get a word in
That's really what I'm referring
edgewise?
to. I just said that propaganda is based on fear, obviously. That it's
I
not
tell
a-
you, these femoids, they're
and
just
I never
jabber,
contended
jabber,
with that.
jabber,
I
jabber,
said that
jabber,
as well.
jabber.
Throughout the
Jabber,
entire
jabber,
conversation.
jabber,
So
jabber,
you'll hear
jabber.
those clips.
Jabber, jabber, jabber,
So
jabber,
to be
jabber.
super specific with this first video here, what you're looking for and you're listening to is that to be super clear, my concerns with these things. I understand that and I was about to say fear.
Not
go
femoid?
into
Okay,
the thing about
fear.
like, why I don't contend with that, and then Riley interrupts me and we get sidetracked and I forget to make the fucking point.
Definitely
if
not
Riley's
femoid.
upset that I didn't make it
Definitely
clear
not
that I
femoid.
agree with the first part, I mean that's fine, but we were never even talking about this until the end. We were never talking about it throughout the entire conversation. It was never the focus of the conversation.
Also
for a
chat
single
meow.
second. So,
Meow.
whatever. If Riley wants to hang her hat on that as gaslighting, then I don't know.
I don't know why
I
I'm
tried
so
really
weird,
hard to
chat.
be
I'm so
explicit.
weird.
You're listening for the. I understand the. That's what you're listening to. I think
What
both
position?
sides.
We're listening for
The list of positions that you wrote out, as in the like quote unquote Republican positions. That's really what my objections to. I understand that like
there were positions that have been pushed by the Republican Party pretty widespread.
the next part of this is I'm going to be going back to the end of the conversation where I said I agreed with Riley that Republican propaganda is based on fear. And then a couple of seconds passed, and then Riley asked me again, and I said, "Yeah, I said that, as in I just said it. I just made it clear that I do agree with her that Republican propaganda is based on fear." And at the beginning of the conversation, I made it clear that my contention
being
was
weird
with
is okay.
the specific claims, the positions that were being put forward as this mainstream Republican views. And I want to note that if Riley was confused, genuinely confused about the first claim, we would have been talking about the first claim for the entire conversation. We were never talking about that. We were talking just about the points that I had contention on. And then conveniently at the end of the conversation, all of a sudden, it's revealed that there's some super secret gaslighting tactics going on. Even though
You
it's not
climbed on
consequences. But that's not what we're talking about here.
No,
we're talking
it's
about whether or
literally
not
what we're talking
Republicans
about.
actually
Filing
believe
Literally, all
and
conservative
meowed.
propaganda is based on inciting fear. Yes, if those people voted.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. No, that yeah.
RGR
you know,
bad.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about these specific claims. That's what I specifically said when I came in here. Was these positions, not like whether or not fear is used as a political tool.
All right, now I'm incredibly confused.
So to end the section on gaslighting accusations,
I'm
I just want to
afraid
say
that
that
Riley
I'm going
might
to
have
chalk
picked up
this
some
up
really
to
bad
just a
debating,
miscommunication.
like,
Maybe I could have been more clear at the beginning of the
habits.
conversation. It was
Like,
difficult
she is,
because
like,
I felt like I couldn't
leaning
I
on
kept going off
crutches,
on
like,
confused tangents, and I
calling
got
everything
distracted.
gaslighting
I
and
tried to be really specific to start with to try to avoid this.
doing the, I don't know.
And I think the fact that I stated my
Is she
position
just looking for a
clearly,
cheap clap?
twice at the beginning, and then throughout, demonstrates that I was attempting to be as clear as I possibly could. And insofar as I wasn't, it's unintentional. and it's clear that it was unintentional, given that I was making so much effort to try to be clear. As in terms of like Riley, if you were genuinely confused about this, this was unintentional, and if you were confused about my position or feel like I was coming in with not
That's
showing
enough
my actual,
news.
I'm sorry for that. If this is a failure of communication on my part, I'll try to be
the Destiny drama cycle. Maybe
I tried to be in this conversation, but it isn't fair to say that just because there was
not a fan of her rhetorical style.
I was trying to confuse you with my position. That's
well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I like
Riley,
and sometimes she's really based. Like, and I think she was right in this conversation. I don't like how she went about the argument, but then again, you know, I've been in less than ideal situations where, like, I don't like how I went about an argument, so I'm not gonna hate her too much for that, like, for that, you know?
For why she feels she needs to interrupt me. This is something that I view as completely corrosive to conversation. You can't have a conversation if you won't let the other person talk. You just can't. You are not talking to the person across from you or virtually across from you if you will not let them finish any of their points.
I kind of like her style. Yeah, me too.
That being said, I'm going to show that
I've always liked Riley.
I'm going to show that
Riley actually like found out about me when I got canceled. Well,
why she was interrupting me.
You know,
so yeah, that's what this.
The thing where the
so like
came
how
for me.
how would you like to add? So like let's just
like me
talk about like laws. We're a nation of laws, right?
Especially like Destiny and
okay.
How would you add?
Going with this, but okay.
Well, where? Okay, so I'm not interrupting you. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't interrupt me as well.
Okay, I will say, like just as far as like interrupting, I normally do not. If I feel like you're going down an irrelevant or an unrelated tangent, I may stop you just because
the
like,
cancel brings everyone together. I know.
I genuinely believe is unrelated, or I'm concerned is unrelated. I will stop you. Otherwise, I will not. So just a note on that. But go on.
Okay, yeah. All I would say about that is that I would hope that you would trust me as like a conversation partner, to just trust me that I'm trying to go somewhere. And if it turns out that I'm making a bunch of useless tangents, then call me out on it. Like I would appreciate like the good faith extension
relevant
here.
shout out.
I mean, I'll be honest. Right now, you're kind of. I mean, like right now, you're sounding very different from how you were. Like right now, to me, you're starting in the hole because like I feel like this is not a controversial take, but I'll extend charitable. So go on.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
It's very uncharitable to say that the left doesn't care about law by implication.
Oh, clearly. Well, to be perfectly clear, the left cares about laws. Okay. There's disagreement about laws on both sides. I'm not one saying. I never said the left doesn't care about laws. And maybe some people on the right say that the left doesn't care about laws. I'm not one of those people. I'm just saying that simply talking about law and order and making these appeals to people does not. I just do not see it as a racist dog whistle.
Then why don't they use another? Why don't they use another phrase? Why can't they pick something else aside from the thing that we know is explicitly a racist dog whistle historically?
Because
like,
I don't.
Riley's showing. What is Riley showing?
I don't think most people interpret.
She's got something that's like. So she wasn't
maybe
really
just
important.
No, I don't.
It's an article.
Hold on,
it's like probably not anything that's going to convince a Republican.
Right? Just because most people don't interpret it to be a racist.
Look, I just think that I don't think it's that unreasonable. You
gotta take them back through the history and stuff. It sucks.
And I would also note
it really sucks.
We got off on this. Wait.
This is a shitty place.
A lot. Okay, I'm being very patient. but I have to make some points.
This is why I don't
like letting you make all the points. I'm
debating right wingers that much.
Like you're basically saying
you do have to take them back to school on a lot of shit.
That way when that's
that's what
you don't have more
if that's your
evidence
thing.
to say that they do than otherwise, or that if they don't, that's just how it's intended to be because that's just the nature of dog whistles.
Okay, so I'm gonna make my point now that I was just trying to make is that this originally was a tangent. Because rather than talking about the fact that it is not a mainstream position that black people are quote unquote invading your suburbs, that's not a mainstream opinion on the right.
It's literally that's what Trump said.
Riley.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you want me to say? He's the president of the United States. He's a Republican president. You want me to take his statements and not take that to be representative of what most Republicans believe? You really want me to believe that?
Riley.
Like, I'm sorry. Don't hold on. Wait. Don't demean me. All right. You're on my stream. Do not demean me. All right.
I'm not demeaning you.
Riley.
Just like
Riley.
I'm look.
So that's what the demeaning is, and that's what he apologized for.
Let me talk. You're just talking over
me.
But you're giving like
No, you're not.
Really, yes, I am. All right, fine. You want to talk about how Trump made comments about Mexican immigrants connecting them to crime, saying that they're bringing in rapists.
I'm not talking about Trump, Riley. I'm not. I'm talking about Republicans.
He was the Republican president. He's still like most Republicans still like hold him up.
Okay,
to
I think I know what
do you have
the fucking statue that people have made
this
of him,
as
like
the
a solid
debate.
gold Trump statue?
Then
you
I'll
want
show
to sit here,
Riley
like
talking
you
to
honestly
Destiny,
want to tell
Riley
me
talking
legitimately
and Drew
that,
talking to
that he's not
Destiny.
representative of like the vast majority or a substantive majority of the Republican Party's beliefs.
The tweets.
Like, do you honestly want me to believe that? Because it's either people agree with him or they're fine enough with his opinions to not say anything about it. It is one of those two things.
Okay, so
Riley.
Do you want to have a conversation, or do you want to just sort of use
hysterical.
me as like a person to vent your frustrations at?
Hold on,
this
are you?
particular...
Wait, hold on. I don't normally ask this. Are you actually trolling right now? Because
No,
I'm seeing people in my chat.
I'm really not.
Like, I feel like I'm saying a lot of things that are like very kind of like straight. Like I'm not trying to say.
Do you
like,
think
talk
he's
about,
honest
very
about like
disputable
that?
things.
That
Like, I
his
feel
whole
like I'm
thing
talking
of
about things
like,
that are like pretty
you're
widely
like, why are you
known
using me to vent?
And like,
do you think
it's
he really feels like
I'm really trying hard to like treat you as a reasonable person, but like when you just say, "Oh yeah, no, Law and Order isn't a racist dog,"
you kind of
really
also like listen. You can get angry at the person, but you have to let them push you to that.
Okay, so
you have to like justify that. You have to take some.
I'm just gonna offer some stuff up
it's
just
like
to
when
try
a
to make things
basketball
like
player
try to get to some
like,
middle ground
I
at this
guess
point,
lets
so we could
themselves
like
get fouled
decide
or
that I'm
something,
not a troll. Okay.
and eventually,
all right,
you know,
all right.
it'll start
So
to be
I'm not
like
saying
really
this matters,
apparent,
right?
and
But
like
I go on these like panels on Twitch every now and then, and I've
notice,
never
I
had
don't know.
difficulties
It's
talking.
just
to
like
people
I don't know.
before. I don't know
Basketball's
what's
a bad
going
metaphor. I don't even know
in this
basketball
particular
chat. I'm assuming
situation.
basketball.
So like I go on.
The issue. Like if you
it's
want me to
probably
tell
not
you
a good
the issue
metaphor
is,
to
right
use
now,
since
the
I don't
issue
know
is that I'm
basketball.
citing very matter-of-fact things. And you're
Yeah,
saying, no, I don't
he's
really
being
care about
extremely
that.
dense, but
Like,
that's the
it's
thing.
really weird.
He's a right winger. If you want to have a
like
discussion with a
yeah,
right winger, you have to like sort of
well,
walk him through this
actually,
shit.
Like it's very
You
frustrating.
can't just like be like, this is an article in the Atlantic, and it says that I'm right.
You're like,
so
I mean, like 2 + 2
they'll be
doesn't
like,
necessarily
the
equal 5,
Atlantic
but,
is
you
a
know,
bunch
Riley, why are
of
you getting so upset that I disagree that 2 + 2 = 5? Like, it's a very hard conversation
demon rats, and I don't believe anything they have to say
in like a charitable way, but we can't even get past like the very basics.
It's very annoying.
Look, I mean, in that statement, you're sort of admitting that you're not treating me charitably. Like,
I mean,
like,
at this point, I'm probably
She's
not.
through. She's
done
with you.
I mean, like you've disagreed with some very basic things that I thought were kind of like gimmies. Like, I felt like Law and Order. It's pretty widely known that that's like a pretty explicitly racist and historically racist dog
See, this
whistle.
is
and,
fucked up. This is fucked up because chat. We all know. We all know that it does. Like it does have that association. It does have that precedent.
The Republican Party's racist.
Like
even
that
though
is
they're the
kind
ones
of how the dog whistles work.
It's really weird when you say that, and then you turn around.
When you say this to a right winger, when you say like to them, like, "Yo, Law and Order," that sounds kind of racist, bro. They do a double take, and they think that you're saying something very different than what you're saying. They think that like enforcing any law whatsoever is like you think it's racist, and they're gonna treat you like the SJW stereotype.
Riley, why aren't you treating
I mean, they're gonna probably treat you like the SJW stereotype regardless, but excuse me, even a like hypothetically reasonable like right winger will do that then.
Faith, and it's like
assuming that that's a real thing, that there are actually like reasonable Marshall Project. Okay, this is
because you're not agreeing to like something that's very basic and pretty widely agreed upon.
Okay. Here's the issue I'm having. Okay. This is your platform. I'm trying to be as respectful as I possibly can. Okay. But I feel like every time I try to make any particular point, you start talking over me because you like quote unquote, don't want me to go down
moderates think
whatever.
It's just the left is overreacting. Yeah. That's why you got to be careful about it. Even though they are saying she's right.
I'm still trying to talk. This is what I'm talking about. Like I'm trying to speak. Like, and I don't want to talk over you because it's your platform. I'm not going to do that, right? Like this is your space. I'm not going to start talking over you.
Wait, hold on.
Like,
what ideas have I mischaracterized or have I caused you to not be able to convey?
Yeah, well, like I feel like I've tried to recenter things back to the specific points you made in your tweet, right? But like you keep
actually
okay, and I
like if you say that actually
you're doing it again right now. Like I'm literally trying to talk. Like I just don't like. Do you want to talk to me, or you just want to like
I'm trying
interrupt
to talk
me
to
in
you.
every sentence that I speak?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow you. All right, so then if you want to be super particular about it, what you're doing right now is essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to give like multiple points that you expect that I'm trying to respond to. But when you give me multiple points and then you try to move on from one of those multiple points and you don't give me the opportunity to respond to all of those points, then that's not an actual conversation. You're acting like it is. But if you want me to actually be, if you're going to give me multiple points, I'm going to respond to all of them. And so you gave me the point when we were talking about the tweets and whether or not it's a widespread Republican view that most Republicans are, I guess, like generally racist. And so I went to the example that Trump, postured himself, especially during the election, as the leader of the party of law and order. And you said, well, actually, that's not a Republican dog whistle. And now that's where we're at, right? Or that's not a racist dog whistle. And now that's where we're at, right? Because if you want to move on from that, then I'm not going to budge on the idea that that's not a racist dog whistle, all right? I'm not going to budge. And if you want to move on from that, then that's fine. But I am not budging on that because like the overwhelming evidence is like way against you on this one.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to say like a single sentence. And to be clear, I am in no way, shape, or form gish galloping. I have barely said a single word before you've interrupted me.
Okay, then go ahead and give your full thesis then, please.
Thank you,
I'm not gonna give a thesis. I just want to make a single point without being interrupted. Okay, is that fair?
You've made multiple points, but okay. Like again, you wanted me to ask you why I'm not treating you charitably because right now you're very much trying to posture yourself as if I'm doing these terrible things or as if I'm doing these uncharitable things.
I'm not trying to posture.
Responded to all of your points, and you're upset that like I interrupt you when I understand what you're trying to say and I respond to you.
I'm not trying to posture. I'm trying to speak. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a good thing that he wasn't like on.
I just don't. Okay.
Screen.
I'm just gonna start talking. I would appreciate if you wouldn't interrupt me.
Like, okay, wait.
Okay.
I should be watching this.
I understand your point,
I'm sorry, chat. Like,
start going into something that's relevant, like I said.
Okay. All right. So my main issue,
Here,
like I said initially, was that I don't feel like these are mainstream like Republican opinions as on the ground Republican.
This is why sometimes you want to have your face on screen. Like with Drew, that emotion that he just expressed would have been more powerful and more effective. It was effective, it worked, it did its job, as it is, but it would have been more so if he had been on screen at the time. So sometimes an advantage to that.
Is it? I just don't. Okay, I'm just gonna start talking. I would appreciate if you wouldn't interrupt me. Okay.
Okay. Unless I understand your point, or unless you start going into something that's relevant.
Gish dribbling. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. All right, so my main issue, like I said initially, was that I don't feel like these are mainstream like Republican opinions as on the ground Republicans, like regular people, okay? And in response to me objecting to these things, which you said multiple times, is like you've gone away from like the invading our suburbs thing to a thing about law and order, which is not what I was talking about. And then the second time when I started talking about like Mexican people or Muslims, you started talking about Trump, not like Republicans. And I understand that your point in response to that was he was the head of the Republican Party as the president, and that's correct. But that isn't evidence that like on the ground Republicans actually have those views. You actually have to demonstrate with evidence that Republicans actually hold those views, especially when you're talking about like you're like one of your statements here is that because Republicans unironically think that all Muslims are terrorists.
I did say that. I didn't say that.
Muslims, we literally impose a travel ban because Republicans unironically think they're all terrorists. That's a direct
do you remember what
quote.
I said earlier in the conversation?
What a piece of shit cop out.
Remember what
no
else
wonder
I said
they like. I mean, he did get her there with that tweet.
Do you remember what I said? Because now it sounds like you're not listening to me.
No, wait. If I forgot,
tell me
please,
I responded
please
to this point.
Please,
so if you're actually listening to me, I want you to tell me what I said about this point in particular.
You said something specifically about. I believe you started talking about his travel ban. That's what you said, right?
No. What did I say about the nature of all Republicans? You're the one sitting here saying that I'm not listening to you and I'm not responding to your points. I responded to this point. Actually, I responded to it multiple times. So I want you to tell me what I said.
Yeah, I clearly don't remember. Just remind me.
Okay, so what I've said multiple times now.
Yo, here's the thing.
Listen because I'm actually.
Like, yo, okay, so just so nobody's getting my, opinion wrong here. RGR is 100% right. 100% based. What she's saying is true. I don't think it's controversial. The thing is, if you put yourself in a situation where you're debating against a right-winger, and you know, Drew may not be like a full-on Trumpy, but he's, you know, he's a right-winger, right? You're gonna have to take them back to like kindergarten in certain ways, because certain things that are just like most of us have heard of the association with Law and Order as being a Nixonian era dog whistle that was able to, without like outright saying it, trigger racism in, you know, white people. It was more complicated than that, because there was also like the 60s and like hippie protests going on. So it was part of that, like, you know, violence in the street, riots, you know, like, right. It was like a whole thing. So, it's been used as a way to, I guess you'd say, activate like a racist priming, or, kind of put people, summon the racist parts of, you know, their mind, you know, with this statement of like, we need to have law and order, because then it doesn't sound like it. And here's the thing, do you hear what I just said? If we clip that, send it over to conservative, you know, streamer, have them watch it, they'd be laughing at my ass right now. Oh, she thinks Law and Order is racist. Oh God, these fucking liberals, they think everything's racist. It's really easy to get framed like that and served up on a silver platter. That's you if your real goal is to convince the right wingers otherwise, or convince their audience otherwise, you can't be doing that. You can't let, like, you know, you can't, like, you know, let such a cheap ass debate tactic take you down, because Riley, you got the right argument here, 100%.
Listening to what you're saying, and I'm really upset. Or actually, I don't want to say I'm upset, because I'm very inclined to believe.
How do you explain that it still is a dog whistle? Oh yeah, that's what Destiny said, was that it wasn't anymore because it was like from so long ago, and it somehow isn't relevant. And the thing is, it never stopped being used. After they figured that this works, after they figured out how to do this, how to activate this, like Republicans used it, Democrats used it, Hillary Clinton used it. You know, it was just a tool. It's been used, and this is what the tool does, is it like activates like a sense of like moral panic on the part of white voters, that, like, you know, somehow liberal judges are letting criminals, and you can only imagine what they think of when you call to mind criminals, you know, get away with lawlessness, with you know, violence. That it's like this whole thing of like, you know, they just get in this picture of the super lenient judge being like, oh well, it wasn't really the defendant's fault, you know, he was in a bad situation, let's not put him away, let's let him, I don't know. It's just this total mischaracterization. If anything, our justice system errs on the exact opposite side of fucking incarcerating the fuck out of people, especially black people. And so, yeah, it was just this, and this policy has resulted in the inordinate impact of law enforcement on the black community, and to a decidedly negative effect. So, you know, real harm's been done here. Riley's right. She's just like, I don't know, not, you know, she doesn't want to walk things back and make the case, and it's understandable, but
that you're trying to like get.
I think legit, like, if not Drew, then some of his audience at least does not get this concept. Even if Drew is being purposefully obtuse, which is always a possibility, I think that like Drew's audience is probably legitimately obtuse to this.
Response out of me.
No, I'm not.
Like what I've said multiple times, and I want you to drill this in your head, is either that every Republican believes this, or they are complicit enough with it that they are fine letting it exist in their party without doing anything about it. It is one or the other. It cannot be anything else.
Oh yeah, you're right. You did say this. Okay, yeah. So the issue here is that the accepting it as a part of the party is a separate thing from them believing it, right? And my contention, they're two separate things.
It's either you believe it or you're fine with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they are like okay letting it go, as in they voted for Trump and they're okay letting it pass, that's different than saying that they actually believe that all Muslims
No,
are
it's
terrorists.
literally not. All right, this is the reason why I definitely don't think that you're acting in good faith. If you are literally,
So
if
is
you are
what Drew's
fine
arguing?
voting for a
I'm not
party
fine with it.
which
I'm
has
not
like
fine
an
with it.
overtly
Some
racist
people
platform, then you are
support
functionally
Trump,
just as bad as someone who
but
overtly
they
believes
like
those views.
don't believe
As
everything
far
he
as like
says.
an electoral system is concerned, if you
Is
vote
that
for
kind
someone
of what Drew's
who
arguing?
overtly holds racist views, if you vote for someone who overtly holds racist views like Donald Trump, and you don't necessarily agree with those views, but you're like, you know, I mean, like, I don't hate them, but I'm fine with them, then I would say that you're just as bad as anyone who overtly believes them functionally, because you're going to lead to the same result.
Okay, so I just want to say, look, they are different. I mean, you're acknowledging that they're different. You're just saying they're functionally the same, correct?
Yes, they are. They are literally functionally the same. If you're
Yeah,
someone
they're functionally the
yes,
same.
they are
They're not the same thing.
Yes, they are functionally the same. Yes.
Yeah. So my contention is that there's a large
This debate will
constituency of
probably
Republicans
come
that do not
out
believe this, and
Monday.
they held their nose and voted for Trump
This
anyway.
debate will
That's
be
my contention.
Monday on
Yeah, and I would say that those
YouTube.
people are just as bad in doing that action as people who voted for him because they overtly
Surprise!
believe
I know,
those
right?
things.
It like
I think
triggers
that
my.
I think that those are equivalent actions.
They might
It
be
makes me
equivalent
think it's
actions
in my
if you're
Discord.
viewing them
I'm like, wait, am I
as a result of
still
the consequences,
in
but
there?
that's not what we're talking about
No.
here.
No,
we're talking
it's
about whether or
literally
not
what we're talking
Republicans
about.
actually believe
Literally,
I
all
didn't
conservative
stay in
propaganda
there
is
a
based on
little bit
inciting
longer
fear.
than I meant
Yes,
to,
if
but
those
yeah,
people
it
voted,
AFK'd me.
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean,
it's
maybe,
supposed
yeah.
to, so.
yeah, no,
Yay, mods
Yeah,
who
but we're not
implemented that
talking about
system.
that. We're
It works
talking about
really
these
nicely.
specific claims. That's what I specifically said when I came in here. Was these positions,
Yeah.
not like whether or not fear
Wait,
is
hold
used
on,
as
hold
a
on, hold
political
on. All right,
tool.
now I'm
Wait,
incredibly confused. So
my
do you actually
dude.
not? So do you
Just kidding.
agree then with the idea that literally all conservative propaganda is based on inciting fear? So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I said that. I said that
was
my
so peaceful
contention,
up here,
and I said this
but now
immediately
there
when
are
I came in.
Oh my
My contention
God.
with the
invading
positions that
radicals.
you were putting forward as
Oh
mainstream.
my
Because it was so
God.
Not the
peaceful
first
up here,
thing.
but now there are freaking
Okay,
communists
I did.
Communists
All right,
invading
if people in chat,
radicals.
if people in
Because it
chat, you can
was
give me a
so
one if you
Holy
think
shit.
that
But
if
now
you
there
were
are
all able to
freaking
understand that in
communist
chat, if you
invading
all completely
radicals.
understood that to be the case
Since
when he
this
came in,
on
you give me one in
Breakfast
chat. I'm
Detective.
super
But now
interested
there
here.
are
If you
freaking
did not understand that to be the
communist
case, give me a
invading
two because I'm super
A,
concerned. Like I
was
have to
so
know if I'm being
peaceful up
gaslit
here,
on this right
but
now
now there are
because I
freaking
feel like I
communist
am. I feel
invading
like
radicals.
And size Neo.
disagreed with all that.
Look, I'm
Okay,
fine to
cool.
I'm fine to
got
pull the clip. I'm pretty
subbed
sure I
by
explicitly said
Vogelfeist.
that.
Okay, well, chat seems to be very
Vogelfeist.
much in disagreement with you. So okay.
No, I mean,
We still have to do,
chat.
like,
I mean, I
chat
can
teaches
go up
Irene
and try to find the
German.
clip for you. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure
if you
I
want, yeah, if
literally.
you want
pronounce
to, then
things.
please go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
You're going
sure.
to try
Yeah,
and like
I'll
pull a
send the
very
clip right now.
semantic issue. Naive at best, crazy. Hold on, naive at best, crazy making troll at worst. Either way, RGR doesn't seem to be having a good time. No, I'm really not. So I mean, like,
That's her
really, so,
chat.
like,
Let's
I
say
want to
that.
talk about some of these claims.
So I realized it was a lot. I wanted to demonstrate that there was a lot of times where I felt like I was being interrupted, and then consistently throughout the.
To be fair, Drew, this is.
Riley was
I think this is a good video that you made here. It is hard to hear at places, but you know.
Because from this point in the conversation,
What you gonna do?
my goal is to establish that I did make my position clear, so we can get rid of the confusion. I try to clip. I try to find a way to clip the my actual starting statement. But I go to a stream, I can't actually scroll back, and the only time I can.
I realized that life was really boring without being
so
stoned,
for the
especially in
rest
the
of
pandemic.
I'm trying to both respond to Riley.
Are there
and
subtitles?
clip at the same time to demonstrate that
genius.
I'm not acting in bad faith.
Vamps, genius.
And Riley does not give me the opportunity to actually demonstrate that. So Riley
Let's see.
Reads off a thing about how I'm a crazy.
What do we?
man or
Ooh.
something like that. And then the conversation proceeds to just
Hey.
completely disintegrate from this point. And then, at the end of the conversation, Riley decides that rather than finishing the conversation in a respectful way, she is going to just kick me and ban me from everything. It's my point of view that this is to prevent me from responding to anything, and to prevent me from speaking about my side of this. And I'll provide a little bit of evidence for that in a minute. So we're going to continue with this, and we're actually going to finish out the rest of the conversation here. It's about 4 minutes left from like the point where I get kicked off and banned, so that you can see the full context.
Yeah, black
Yeah.
people are invading your suburbs. Yeah, I took that straight from President Trump's comments about how black
some
people
editing.
are invading people's suburbs. Again, President
When I,
Trump,
when I
Republican
make the video.
president of the United States,
So
and I have to
hopefully
ask, so
it'll
you're
be
genuinely
easy to
making the claim
understand
that this
in the
isn't
video.
representative
If
of
you
what
missed
Republicans
something
believe, either by
earlier.
either overtly or by complicity. Like, you're actually unironically making that argument right now.
Okay, well, to be clear, but complicity is not the same thing as what we were talking.
They are functionally the same. Oh my god.
They're functionally.
I cannot believe this. Hold on. I have to ask you. Because
sure.
This is all right. Hold on. If you let's like create a hypothetical political party where the person who I voted for, like the person who you were voting for was like a a trans fascist, all right, and they believe that all cis people need to die immediately. And I looked at that and I was like, well, I mean, like, I don't really care so much about that issue, but like, I like the other stuff that they're talking about, so I guess like I'm fine with it. Like, are you unironically going to say that I'm not complicit in that action by voting for that person? Like, if you were to die.
You would be complicit if you vote for someone. You are complicit in whatever they do.
Okay, cool. So that's what we're talking about.
I was not contending with that. I was talking about what conservatives on the ground believe, Riley.
Yeah, and if you either overtly or complicitly, if you either agree with these things overtly or conversely, if you are complicit in them, if you acknowledge that those things exist but you don't do anything about them, then that's just then that's tantamountly the same.
Okay, I disagree, but I need to say something really quick. How do I find... Okay, how can I go back in the stream and actually clip this for you? Because I actually don't functionally know how to do this, and I want to demonstrate that I actually did come in here in good faith. Because I actually...
you actually came in here in good faith?
Wait,
I'm pretty sure...
I'm
looking at my chat, like,
listen,
everyone seems to agree that you're, like, either trolling or very, like, seriously trying to gaslight. Like... I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm literally trying to ask you for help so I can provide you with the evidence right now.
I only watched a little bit of Drew and Anna Pearls. I know what you're talking about, though.
Oh, if you're not,
I know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure that I make it so that only subscribers or followers, one of the two, are able to clip. Because often people come in here and they try to like pull some
Riley's
shit where they like
an early start.
I understand. They're trying to clip snipe you, and I get that.
Exactly.
I want to make sure
I'm following you. My issue is that I'm trying to figure out how to clip this, but I can't actually go back
never did that.
The stream to clip.
Like Destiny, like
Then I don't know what to do for you. Anyway,
you don't have to be a sub to watch Destiny streams.
Sounds like there's I don't know. I don't. Really
are you on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Okay, then I might actually be able to clip it from there. What's up?
Do you got any final memes?
I mean, sure, yeah. Like, I mean, I came in here to argue. I came in here to argue that Republicans didn't believe this, not whether or not they were complicit in supporting the positions. I mean, you're sort of moving the goalposts on this particular issue if you want.
Hold on, actually, where did I say that all Republicans believe this?
Well, I didn't say that. I said Republicans unironically think they're all terrorists. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because... Hold on, wait. So actually, we weren't talking about the black comment in the first place. So actually, I don't know why you commented on that in the first place.
This is like something that like...
I disagree with that one as well. I don't think that Republicans believe that black people are invading the suburbs.
You don't think that Republicans think that black people are invading the suburbs? All right, cool. I've had enough of this. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Okay.
Well...
I'm sorry. I cannot believe that guy wasn't a fucking troll. I can't believe that guy wasn't a fucking troll. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Holy fuck.
I don't know. Look, shit. I don't have a lot of patience for bullshit from right-wingers.
Dude.
But, like, he wasn't... If he was... I mean, he was wrong.
So as you can see, the conversation quickly declined.
I just... there's no smoking gun of, like, he was...
Riley, blocked me on Twitter, banned me from Discord,
being bad faith.
Later I can show a clip of that if I really need to, but I think it's...
And if you're gonna claim that you kind of want the smoking gun, I don't know.
Despite banning me,
I don't know. Like, I feel bad for Riley. This is a frustrating debate to deal with. I know that Drew can be slippery at times. I'm not sure, was he being slippery here, or did he for all I know, the thing is, like, he's lying, but does he believe that he's like? I almost think he's believing, like, he seems like he's being honest in that, like, he believes this. It's wrong. He's wrong about it.
So I was in a moment of frustration, and I was trying to...
You think he knows he's full of shit, though? Do you think he knows? It's so hard for me to be, like, to find the smoking gun and be like, aha, he knows, like, right? So that's why it's, like, a tough position. Like, she was right, but, like, I don't know. She just didn't, especially to his fans, didn't come off real well in that debate.
I feel like I was trying to do it, or that she felt talked down to. So for that, Riley, I am genuinely
That
sorry.
was, yeah. Okay,
that's
that's
what I
a good
reached out
apology
to
then. Like,
for
it's
the
probably a
unread
good.
request was with that apology. But I can't actually apologize or push back on any of the misinformation that she's putting out about me to her audience because I can't respond on any of her platforms. That being said, next we're going to talk about, first of all, I'm going to show evidence that she's still talking about me. She was talking about me yesterday, so this is the day after the conversation
great.
she was talking about me.
Is this really, is this still going on,
Some of her audience
chat?
members were actually pushing back on her, but she wasn't letting that happen. I've had a couple audience members of her message me and be like, yo, that was really fucked up. I don't know what happened. Like, I'm sorry. I've had this happen from a couple people, which is, I think, telling considering they have every possible bias in favor of Riley.
You want me to drink water? Yes, I should drink water.
Riley saying, no, that guy's
like
the
literally
worst
have to
possible
like
faith person that he could have been. And then I've got some really nasty stuff that I think is getting into really gross stuff.
He understands all this stuff.
Riley was talking about
He's pretending not to because he might have to stop laughing at the racist jokes white people tell in private.
I'm sorry. So don't go fucking defending that guy.
Yeah.
When he is like I
Sophistry.
am walking away from
use
this
fallacious
conversation
arguments,
believing that
especially
he
with
was
the
like the
intention of deceiving.
the worst possible fucking faith person. I'm sorry. I think he thought you said that. That's not my point. I don't really care if he went to the conversation, he tried to argue against something that I didn't say, and then made his whole argument about that. Then they're like, I cannot treat that person as if they're operating in good faith.
That's a frustrating debate tactic. As shitty as that looks and as dumb as it makes the person look who's doing it, it can be effective
also,
if you don't if you go at it brute force.
That wasn't the thing that he disagreed with.
That's why you should never go at anything brute force when you don't have to.
He disagreed with that by the end.
There's so many better ways to go about it, chat.
But he didn't disagree with that initially. He tried to disagree with
so many
something that
better
I
ways
didn't believe
to be than just like white knuckle,
I can kind of meet him halfway and say
anyway,
that's possible
I'll be back.
someone to feel that way. That Republican cares more about other issues. No, if you vote for Trump and you make a judgment call. All right, so if we talk about this issue too, if you vote for Trump and you make a judgment call that, you know, I mean, I know that he's a massive fucking racist, but like, also, I kind of like these other things that you're doing. You are literally making a judgment call that like the fact that he might do terribly bigoted things to other people is worth less than your other considerations. You are weighing the other considerations of other people and how he will bigotedly treat other people less than whatever other considerations you have. All right? You are complicit in that. There's no arguing around that. The only other situation where that's not the case, and this is what we talked about earlier, the only other situation where that's not the case is if you're just so fucking stupid that you aren't aware that he's a massive racist. And I'm sorry, if you're in that case, you shouldn't be voting in politics to begin with. I'm sorry, you probably shouldn't, all right? If you don't know enough to be able to vote in your elections, you probably should try and go home and actually learn about the people that you're voting for.
Oh no.
One more thing. That last clip, I want to make it clear. After Riley said that, she clarified she was not talking about IQ requirements or anything like that for voting. She was simply saying that you should be informed before you vote. I just want to be clear and demonstrate that I'm not trying to clip snipe. I'm just trying to limit the length of this video.
I think that's a flex. Usually like showing, like, look, I could have gone with this IQ thing. I could have called you a hypocrite. You know, yada, and do that. Let me show you how I'm being a good... Oh god, it's just frustrating.
The next thing we're going to talk about, this is really unfortunate. This is one of the things that really upset me. The next clip, you're going to see RGR editing our conversation. And
oh no! Wait.
Contemplating removing a piece of the end to not give me the civility politics look. So deceptively editing it to not let me have that is what she explicitly says. I believe in the clip she doesn't.
I have a mustache with this I have a mustache with this problem. I have a problem with this mustache.
Later,
is what you actually said.
There's another clip of her cutting out the part of her video where she fucking blocks me on Twitter.
Jesus, this is not. This doesn't look good.
Yeah,
it's like,
if I'm being as charitable as possible, maybe there's some world in which she only cut the bit out where she's blocking me on Twitter to just get to the next thing of the video. But I mean, for me, it's hard to believe that it wasn't just to make her look like less of an immature person.
Okay,
in this particular situation.
What did we learn?
I'm not saying it's necessarily fair to say that Riley
don't discourse on Twitter.
Like blocks people on Twitter, but I think.
I mean, and to be fair, Riley did like try to bring it back to the stream, but like
for whatever reason. So yeah, here are those two clips of her editing the video. First, considering editing things, which explicitly stating her intention to not let me have the good look, and then actually cutting something else out.
Like here, I stopped one question short of like the right of like the
this is why this is what right wingers.
I don't think it's bad.
This is the Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder shit. Like,
I think that any reasonable
piss off your opponent and then like. Anyway, it just like this doesn't.
Yeah,
this isn't good.
At this point, I was just like done with the
This is not good.
All right, cool. I've had enough of this.
Don't meta debate. Yeah, probably. Yeah, don't meta debate. That's a good one. Don't get drawn into that. Yeah, because they got so convoluted so quickly.
Goodbye.
And also the thing is, like, I don't know. Riley's tweet was.
And like, hey, I'm not gonna let it go in the final footage. Like, why not?
I don't know. I just don't ever think you should get in the.
So to be perfectly clear,
the tweet was like kind of a
acting in good faith,
more slogan, more of a slogan, more of a feels kind of tweet.
She doesn't actually
don't ever get
up cutting it out.
Saddled with defending something like that.
Here and try to be as dishonest as possible to make her look bad, but I am not going to be the one doing that.
You can always say, hey, you know,
considering it here.
It was a spicy tweet.
Actually does cut
this is what I mean, though. This is what I think. You know, you can always kind of revise it, right? You can always use the excuse that, like, that's Twitter, okay? I explain things in a different way when I'm on Twitter. And if it sounds bad, then fuck them. They don't understand social media.
So yeah, anyway, here's Riley editing out the part where she bans me out of her video.
Yeah, this is...
It's funny when conservatives say I felt, well, facts don't care about your feelings. I know, right? No, we made the joke earlier.
Okay, well, I wonder what she's using as far as software. Does anybody recognize that software? Is it Premiere Pro? I'm guessing Riley's a Premiere Pro gal.
Holy shit. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, OnlyFacts. Yeah, Hana's great.
I can't deal with that. I honestly,
You're a Mac guy. You prefer Final Cut Pro. Okay. I use, actually, DaVinci Resolve. And I really like it, actually. Like, I especially like the latest, like, patch.
Look, all I'm saying is I find it curious that the only part she wants to edit out is her blocking me on Twitter. And to be clear, I should have said blocking me on.
She's trying to make some super complicated psychological points
on Twitter is what she had
about people not only making the choice,
honest, once again,
are responsible for making sure they expand their consciousness and so they understand more choices.
Yeah.
Oh no, so you support Apple, huh? Hannah Reloaded's coverage of Hans Wormhat? Who's Hans Wormhat? What is this about? Wait, I've heard that. I've heard that name. Isn't that super expensive and needs a high-end computer? What, DaVinci?
I feel like I was not allowed to talk because Riley consistently made assumptions.
DaVinci's a free. You can get an upgraded version, but I've got the free version and it's really... Yeah, the video is really quiet. It's Drew's video.
Interrupting me. In addition, Riley openly admitted
but luckily you've got the
multiple times because she assumed wrongly that I was acting in bad faith. After our brief conversation, Riley has taken the cowardly position of not allowing me to express any of my concerns on any of her platforms, all while portraying me as a Fox News loving, anti-fact Trump supporter, which are all lies. I should note here that I never have cast a ballot.
Well, Drew, just so you know, I would never mischaracterize you. I know that you're not any of those things. I hope Riley's not saying that either.
Lastly, Riley's out loud expression of her intentions to try to make me look worse through her editing and her editing out of things like blocking me on Twitter are evidence that Riley, not me, is acting dishonestly. For my final statement,
Apple's new CPU beat 11th generation Intel single core.
Or made you feel talked down to, I am sorry. I am genuinely sorry. I am perfectly
True points don't matter. As I can't hear them.
But that would require you.
Hey, good point. Good point. That's another point about rhetoric. What else did we learn?
I hate you, Riley.
In
fact, I think your
audio's hella
the trans community are amazing,
extremely
passion. I will
extremely important. I didn't say hella. I said it.
Research docs to try to formulate any.
Chat, you didn't catch me saying hella.
Trans rights. Unfortunately, you have missed that I am one of the conservatives that you're able of convincing. You just have to give me the ideas. You have to treat me with respect. Lastly, Riley, I want to ask.
Are we getting some lobster tears?
To determine if you have misjudged someone to be bad faith.
Are we getting lobster tears? Quadruple here. Oh yeah, I do have
intellectual strategy that will make you lose those you can convince, like myself. I respect your passion, your drive, and your dedication. I don't care about civility because optically it looks good. I care about trying to treat you honestly.
Those lobster hands?
Because you are a fellow human being that deserves that respect. So Riley,
you're a fellow human being, Riley.
Here's the olive branch.
Here's the olive branch.
I genuinely hope that you decide to accept it.
I hope you turn away from cultural Marxism as well.
Thank you so much for all who've made it through this, and thank you so much for Riley if you actually consider.
Oh, this is so awkward. This is so fucking awkward.
And once again,
like, I mean, Drew, you're wrong, but I can't say that you're in bad faith. You know, I don't. If I made that claim, I'd be jumping to conclusions. My chat seems to think you're in bad faith, but I don't know. I would, you know, I might be silly, but I would at least try to walk you through, like, why I think that law and order still functions as a dog whistle. Oh well.
Your points, and you're upset that like I interrupt you when I understand what you're trying to say.
I feel like Riley just came into this like super heated. Maybe because she saw stuff off Twitter, so she came in like ready to fight to the death. Maybe, but
I respond, yeah.
I'm not trying to posture. I'm trying to speak. Okay.
Oh yeah. Wait. So this is ahead of there.
Is it? I just don't.
Drew comes on and talks to Destiny.
I would appreciate if you wouldn't.
Followed by RGR.
Okay.
Okay, so after I watch the, I'll skip some time after this is over to get to that.
Okay.
Thank you,
so my main
bot.
issue, like I said initially,
if you're a bot,
I don't feel like
you're
amazing,
like,
and
whoever programmed you is great.
On the ground Republicans, like regular people. Okay.
But I suspect that you programmed yourself. So
objecting to these things, what you said multiple times is like, you've gone away from like the invading our suburbs thing to a thing about law and order, which is not what I was talking about. And then the second time, when I started talking about like Mexican people or Muslims, you started talking about Trump, not like Republicans. And I understand that your point in response to that was he was the head of the Republican Party, president, and that's correct. But that isn't evidence that like on the ground Republicans actually are actually have those views. You actually have to demonstrate with evidence that Republicans actually hold those views, especially when you're talking about like you're like one of your statements here is that
Drew's argument here is correct, but it's incredibly easy to demonstrate this. I think.
Gonna be streaming earlier more.
So Riley is just calm.
Maybe you'll see more of me.
Will prove to me that Republicans. It's like, okay, cool. Well, let's just look at like a multitude of popular Republican policies.
You know, it's weird. Let me talk about
like people
something
chanting
real quick,
for
okay?
the wall, or the support of the Republican Party for the wall, or the, I guess like the favorability view of Trump after he makes certain statements that most people in the country understand to be like a little bit racialized, or this.
So I'm noticing that there's like kind of like two ways to game the system as far as using your emotion or lack thereof to manipulate the audience. One of the ways is the classic, holy shit, my dude, like where you act like your opponent's take or set of facts that they're working with or whatever it is you want to dispute, whatever it is you want to throw shit on, is so bad, it's giving you an aneurysm. And that can work. We've seen it work with Destiny. You know what I mean? It can make you look ridiculous. You know, if your argument already has that like air of not so sure about that holy shit, my dude, really sends it over the top of like, wow, you're really hurting Destiny with your bad argument, you know? And it's like it's hard to come back from that, right? Then there's also what Drew is doing, which is the totally like, well, I'm just being calm. I mean, I don't think that saying law and order implies any sort of racial, you know, and there's a lot of people to whom that's actually not a controversial statement. And he's kind of getting by, like, you know, being really calm and playing off of Riley's, like, demonstration of emotion, which, like I said, can work, and like neutralizing it and turning it against her. So now instead of Drew's argument looking ridiculous, Riley's looking, you know, frazzled. And she's right here. She's the one who knows what she's talking about here. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see. You hate to see it, chat, because we always want, like, the side that we generally root for is, like, truth here. So, you know, it's not a good day for the truth right now.
Support among the Republican Party for a Muslim ban. Or
did she dye her hair? I swear to God, did she do something different with her hair?
I mean, like, there's a lot of different types of policies that we could hit on here for Riley to prove her point, which I think is a fair question for Drew to ask, but I think it's an easy point for Riley to prove.
That because Republicans unironically think that all Muslims are
yeah,
terrorists.
It looks like I triggered SJW. Yeah, that's the classic
Muslims.
lefty
We literally
mistake.
impose a travel ban because Republicans unironically think they're all terrorists. That's
yeah.
the direct
Do you remember what
quote.
I said earlier in the conversation?
Yeah, you said something about Trump putting
No.
before.
Do you remember what else I said in the conversation about the nature of all Republicans? Do you remember
More
what
blonde,
I said?
yeah.
Because now it sounds like you're
looks
not
really
listening to me.
good. I don't know what she does doing with it,
if
but
I
it's
forgot
tell
something,
me-
they're all terrorists. That's
Yeah.
the
Do
direct
you remember what
quote.
I said earlier in the conversation?
Yeah, you said something about Trump putting
No.
before.
Do you remember what else I said in the conversation about the nature of all Republicans? Do you remember what I said? Because now
Go
it
ahead,
sounds like you're not listening to me.
No, wait. If I
I
forgot
want you to tell me
something,
what, because
please,
I
please
responded
remind
to
me.
this point.
Please,
So if
just
you're
please-
actually
please
listening to
remind
me, I want you to tell me what I said about this point in particular.
You said something specifically about. I believe you started talking about his travel ban. That's what you said, right?
No. What did I say about the nature of all Republicans? You're the one sitting here saying that I'm not listening to you and I'm not responding to your points. I responded to this point. Actually,
I don't even
responded
remember
to it
what she
multiple
said.
times, so I want you to tell me.
I think that
is
it's
something
really
you
hard to
can
remember what
do.
was said in a conversation after
you
you begin
feel
to
like
have like a
somebody's
meta
coming at
conversation.
you
When
in
you
bad
started to have a
faith-
conversation about your conversation, it's hard to remember what was said earlier in the actual conversation.
Not
or at
even
least for me
listening
it
to
is.
you.
What I said.
You know, a good thing
Yeah,
to
I
do
clearly
is
don't
have them
remember.
repeat
Just
your
remind me.
argument
Okay,
back
so
to you.
what I
Like,
said
just
multiple
like
times now,
repeat like what you
I keep
understand of my
listening
argument, because
I'm
if they're
actually
not
I'm
listening to what you're
listening,
saying,
I'm
and I'm
listening.
really upset.
It'll show,
Actually, I don't want to say I'm
and
upset.
if they,
I'm
you know,
very inclined to believe that you're trying to like
are
get emotional
listening, then
on
maybe
me.
you can
No,
see
I'm
where the
not. That's
What I've
disconnect
said
is.
multiple times, and I want you to drill this in your head, is either
Sure.
that every Republican believes this, or they are complicit enough with it that they are fine letting it exist in their party without doing anything about it. It is one or the other. It cannot be anything else.
Oh yeah, you're right. You did say this. Okay, yeah. So the issue here is that the accepting it as a part of the party is a separate thing from them believing it, right? And my
No.
contention, they're
No.
two separate
Chat,
things.
I'm
That
so
you
glad
just-
It's
I
either
didn't
you
go.
believe
I'm
it
so
or you're fine
glad
with it.
now that I
yeah,
didn't
that's
go
what I'm
hard
saying.
on
Like,
Drew.
if they are like okay
when I
letting
talked
it
to
go,
him.
as in they voted for Trump and they're okay letting it pass, that's different than saying that they actually believe that all Muslims
No,
are
it's
terrorists.
literally not. All right, this is the reason why I definitely don't think that you're acting in good faith. If you are fine voting for a
I'm not
party
fine with it.
which
I'm
has
not
like
fine
an
with it.
overtly
didn't
racist
realize
platform,
that
then you
Okay.
Steven had his
So
eye.
this is just background info that I have that is hurting Riley here, but I understand what's happening. So for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because he's just like a mainstream psychologist or whatever. Nowadays after everything, a lot of psychology people, at least on the internet, or at least ones that I've been introduced to, have very high opinions of Jordan Peterson, and they seem to have similar disconnects that Jordan Peterson has when it comes to understanding like
True.
common usage of language or
True.
understanding where other people are coming from. And Drew is definitely one of these people. So Drew's point is technically correct here, that just because it is conceivable that there might be a leader of a party that holds a belief that everybody else in the party might tolerate, but might not necessarily have that belief. That's possible. That is actually completely possible. And you'd have to go a step further to prove Riley's point and that you would actually need polling data from the party. Now, if you were an empathetic person, you would realize that most people aren't going to buy into that immediately and are going to require you to talk them to that position. For
Yeah.
instance, it's conceivable that I could have a room full of Klansmen, of Ku Klux Klansmen, and none of them are actually racist. Now, maybe the organization is racist, but maybe they just join it because, that's what you do in their community. In fact, this wasn't necessarily this wasn't unheard of, that certain communities and certain towns everybody was just part of the Klan because that's what they did. It was like their religion or whatever. But
States,
you need to go a step further.
even.
You need to understand
Yeah.
it's going to be very hard for a normal person to buy into that, everyone in your group just happens to tolerate the fact that the head of your group is like explicitly racist. You need to go a step further and realize most people aren't going to buy into that idea. You're going to have to actually demonstrate that quite a bit. And Drew is just kind of hanging it out there, assuming that somebody will be okay with it. I don't know if this is like the Jordan Peterson thing, because holy fuck. So she's hammering down to avoid that. Riley isn't really confronting that. It's like there's just people are there's a lot of like stuff that's getting lost in the middle here. Sorry, did I say Jew instead of Drew? I think I said Drew. Hold on, my food is almost here.
Maybe I was like a wizard who like got kicked out.
Why would you want to be a wizard?
I'm like, little dude.
Answer that one question.
What are you
Cast
crying?
spells.
Yeah, cast spells.
Thought so. So you have no response to what you're saying.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Wow. Engaged debate lord.
Did you just call me a gay
How was your
debate
video?
lord?
I did, yeah.
What?
Wait, did you say a gay debate lord?
Wait, you call me a gay debate lord? You just admitted to calling me that?
No.
Everyone heard you, Nick.
Engaged debate lord.
Nick,
Engaged.
everybody heard what you just said.
Some 1996
Okay.
memes in the
Sure.
house.
Oh, so you did.
Oh, I admitted it.
Well, who are we gonna add as our
Do
thord for
boomers
D&D?
do
Now
that
Nick is banned from
sometimes? They actually
twitch.tv,
revert to like calling things gay as
No,
being
I'm
like
cancelled.
bad.
I gotta
have
find out why
missed so
that
many
Lindsay Ellis girl got canceled. Shit.
Did
Okay.
she get cancelled?
Yeah, apparently.
got
Okay, I gotta go
cancelled.
downstairs and get my food. I don't know what I'm telling you guys. Fuck off.
Riley's
I'll be right back.
point is that Republicans tolerate racism or are racists.
We are unmuted, so.
All right.
Meow. Oh god, I'm gonna have to like edit the shit out of this video, aren't I? I might as well just redo the beginning of it, like, and edit that in too, because like, there's gonna be so much editing for a lovely way
Does
to
Fran
spend
play
your
D&D?
Sunday, isn't it?
She doesn't really, but she has played with me before.
Oh, there you go. Is she a normie?
Speaking
She's
of
a
YouTube videos,
Fucking normies.
I've got Destiny versus
What are you gonna do?
Kidsdestiny
What are you gonna
coming
do?
out tomorrow. This is Destiny debating a 16-year-old debate lord that he helped create. He created this Frankenstein monster, now he's got to deal with it. That's coming out tomorrow.
Hey chat, Koibu, our DM,
It's
is
a
doing his marathon
really
stream for 48 hours. He's going to be streaming 2 days in a row,
Amazing
nonstop.
debate.
If you wouldn't mind, tossing him a $5 if you can afford it, he would probably appreciate it. PogChamp,
R.I.P. Sunday.
tell him Moot and Nick
I
sent you.
know, I just
Right.
want to, I need to, work out and stuff on... Meow, meow, meow. Meow. Meow.
Do not say no elp. Nodders, elp, yes.
Oh, jeez. Okay, seriously, I'm gonna have to cut so much of this out, aren't I? Did he, finish watching it or something? Did he not finish watching it? What happens here? He goes back, doesn't he? We're just, watching him play Valheim, and it's rubbing in my face that he's got, better everything than I do.
Oh, he's
He's
giving
got
away dice.
wieners.
I
He's
want
got
dice.
wieners. He's eating wieners in this game. I am eating,
You think he'd let us roll our own
leg
dice?
of lamb
You
or
think we'd
leg
fudge
of
in the
boar,
rolls?
I guess.
I don't think he thinks we'd fudge the
And,
rolls, but I don't know. I
Maybe.
reckon if you petitioned him,
berries
like,
and mushrooms. Okay,
I don't think it would.
I'm at the
It's
lowest
just
level
worse
of
for your
food
experience, I think.
yeah,
that a Viking can eat.
Agreed.
Postmodern Parinstini Prometheus Epilab.
Do you have a lot of pockets open?
wait,
or nah?
he doesn't finish.
Yeah.
I want to
We
finish
just
the
need someone
debate
to hold money
first.
again. I forgot. I just completely
I need the
forgot about it.
gestalt.
Wait, in D&D, man.
Did he?
In D&D, yeah.
Did they just stop talking or something? Did the
You can
debate
hold,
go
3,000
on?
gold on you at all times. That'd be good.
How much is that way?
Let me look.
Yeah, about the debate, but I want to hear the debate itself. He doesn't. Does he not finish the debate itself? Sounds better than hot dogs. Yeah, you're right, doesn't it? Yeah, it's probably better. It's probably better food, honestly, but somehow in the game it's not. The hot dogs are really, and you can make stew. He's got stew. He's got all kinds of good stuff.
Wow, thanks
I don't have
Samson
any of
for
that good stuff.
tipping Koivu $5 and saying that we sent him. Pog champ. Pog you, brother.
Are you sure about that?
Oh.
Hey, here's a question.
But wait,
Let's
so
say
he
somebody
doesn't
came and
finish the
held somebody hostage on stream.
I want to finish the video. I want to finish the
But
debate.
if you cut the stream, they're gonna do
Is there a way we can finish the debate?
They would? They would just ban the stream.
They would.
Condemning the man to death.
It's not their problem.
Wow.
Is there a place where this debate exists that's not
going back
Destiny?
Be careful.
Bye-bye.
Can we get it from Drew?
You are
Can we get it from
functionally just as bad
Riley?
as someone who overtly believes those views. As far as like a
If anybody can find, he's listening.
If you vote for
He's
someone,
continuing. Okay, so maybe he'll finish.
Holds racist views.
Destiny, you
if you
better
vote for someone
finish.
who overtly holds racist views, like Donald Trump, this is
actually an enjoyable debate for me. I don't know about you, Chad. I hope it's enjoyable for you.
I mean, like, I don't hate them, but I'm fine with them.
You know,
then I would say that you're just as
like
bad
I said,
as anyone who
it's
overtly believes them.
You might be just as
But
bad
it's
as it, but
also,
no,
like,
technically Riley is
sink my
making a
teeth
different
into
claim.
this.
Saying that you're just as bad as somebody that believes
Like a
something is different
Lego
than saying
board.
that you actually believe it. You're just technically is
That's
the
so
case.
weird to imagine
Because you're going to lead to
eating,
the same result.
eating into a meat and going,
Okay, so I just want to say, look, they are different. I mean, you're acknowledging that they're different. You're just saying they're functionally the same, correct?
Yes,
God, that's going to end
They
up
are
on no
literally
to
functionally
context
the same.
check.
Yeah,
isn't
they're
it?
functionally the
Yes,
same.
they
They're
are
not the same
functionally-
thing.
Yes, they are
That's
functionally
so. That's
the
the
same.
point that Drew is
Yes.
Yeah. So my contention is that there's a large constituency of
They're
Republicans
it's
that do not believe
Paleo-Irene.
this, but they held their nose and voted for Trump anyway. That's my contention.
Yeah, and I would say that those people are just as bad in doing that action as people who voted for him because they overtly believe those things.
Which is a fair claim to make. You can say that they're just as bad, but it's still a different claim, right?
I think
Okay,
that both of those. I think that those are equivalent actions.
They might be equivalent actions if you're viewing them as a result of the consequences, but that's not what we're talking about here.
No,
we're talking
it's
about whether or
literally what
not
we're talking
Republicans
about.
actually believe
Literally,
this
all
particular
conservative
thing.
propaganda is based on inciting fear. Yes, if those people voted.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. No, that yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's
but we're
where-
not talking about that. We're talking about these specific claims. That's what I specifically said when I came in here. Was these positions, not like whether or not fear is used as a political
All right,
Vivian.
now I'm incredibly confused. So do you actually not? So do you agree then with the idea that literally all conservative propaganda is based on inciting fear? So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I said
Who
that.
should
I
I
said
replace
that
with
my
Vivian
contention,
in
and I
the
said this
friendship?
immediately when I came in, my contention was with the positions that you're putting
Diorama.
forward as mainstream conservative positions, not the first thing.
Okay, I didn't. All right,
Hey,
if people in
Hazelnut
chat,
Ledge.
if
Tea.
people in chat, you can give me a 1 if you think that if you are all able to understand that in chat. If you all completely understood that to be the case when he came in,
I don't know
you can
shit
give me a
about
1 in chat. I'm
debates
super interested.
until I
in that.
followed
If you
this
did not
channel.
understand that to be the case, give me a 2
Still
because I'm
don't.
super concerned. Like I have to know if I'm being gaslit on this right now because I.
Riley has to stop using the word gaslight.
I've come to realize that my favorite
like I
part
am?
of every
Feel
debate
like
is the
he,
obligatory.
disagreed with
Oh
Look,
my
I'm
god!
fine to pull the clip. I'm pretty sure I explicitly said that.
Okay, well, chat seems to be.
Chat. I mean, I can go up and try to find the clip for you. I'm
Yes,
pretty
if
sure
you
I
want,
literally.
Yeah, if you want to, then please go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
You're going
sure,
to try
yeah,
and like
I'll
pull a
find the
very
clip right now.
semantic issue. Naive at best, crazy. Hold on, naive at best, crazy making troll at worst. Either way, RGR doesn't seem to be having a good time. No, I'm really not. So I mean, like, really. So like, I want to talk about some of these claims. Yeah, black people,
Okay.
they're invading your suburbs. Yeah, I took that straight from President Trump's comments about how black people are invading people's
I'm gonna grab
suburbs.
my drink.
Again,
Yeah.
President Trump, Republican president of the United States, and I
former
have to ask, so
president?
you're genuinely making the claim
Always say
that this isn't
former president,
representative
'cause I'll
of what
knock you-
Republicans
that
believe,
Trump hears
either
it, he's
by
gonna, you know, it's gonna
either
make him feel
overtly
good.
or by complicity.
Former
Like
president.
you're actually unironically making the argument.
Donald J.
right now.
Trump.
Okay, well, to be clear,
Ex-president.
but complicity
Not
is not the
the
same
president.
thing. Is what we were talking.
They are
Donald
functionally
Trump.
the same. Oh my God.
They're functionally.
I cannot believe
The
it.
outcomes might be the same, but the things themselves are actually different.
Hold on. I have to ask you. Because
Sure.
this is all right. Hold on. If you let's like create a hypothetical political party where the person who I voted for, like the person who you were voting for was like a
One second,
was like a trans fascist, all right, and they believe that like, oh yeah, all cis people need to die immediately.
What
and I
is
looked at that
this
and I was
thought
like,
experiment?
well,
Why are we doing it?
I don't really care so much about that issue, but like I like the other stuff that they're talking about, so I guess like I'm fine with it. Like, are you unironically going to say that that I'm not complicit in that action by voting for that person?
Complicit in the outcomes by voting for a person is different from actually holding the belief yourself, though, right? This is what Drew is going to say.
Well, she just like Destiny thinks
like if you were to die,
she's doing it gratuitously, the gaslighting.
If you vote for someone,
but he does it gratuitously too.
Okay, cool.
But
so it's kind of like,
what they do is not the same as,
yeah, I mean,
having or professing that belief.
You probably both overuse it a little bit.
So that's what we're talking about.
I was not contending with that. I was talking about what conservatives on the ground believe.
On the ground?
Yeah. And if you either overtly or complicitly, if you either agree with these things overtly or conversely, if you are complicit in them.
If Drew is playing a better rhetorical game here, what Drew's response would be is, oh, okay, Riley, do you think that most Democrats aren't in favor of a $15 minimum wage then? Because they all supported Biden, and Biden didn't get
Former
a $15
social
minimum
media
wage.
star?
Something like that, right? Would be the argument, the counter claim that he could make.
No.
What? Oh. Wait, what are you guys working on right now?
I'm trying to put down. Yeah, I'm gonna log off, but because Moon used all the iron, I'm trying to make a silver sword. But I need 5 iron, and Moon lost it all.
Sad, yeah.
You need 5 iron for a silver sword.
Oh
Wait,
my
how
god,
do you lose all the iron?
we're totally immersed. The world, this is the world of currents.
Wait, where'd all the iron go?
This is what it's like to be Steven.
Oh, yeah. True.
Not really.
Using that little thing, the little bing bing, the wishbone, you can dig up iron, or you can just go to a swamp and get it. You should be able to do it solo. It should be pretty easy, I guess.
Wait, you can dig up iron?
Yeah. So I've sailed to. Well, I was sailing to the swamp that we did most of the mining in, but I ran into a serpent and had to turn around. So now I'm near a swamp that was near our base, but there's no iron there. So now I'm building a massive ladder up to one of these trees to mine the goop off it, so I can build that boat that you built.
Okay. Oh, good luck. Be careful.
Thanks.
You're like, if you acknowledge that those things exist, but you don't do anything about them, then that's just then that's tantamountly the same.
Okay, I disagree, but I need to say something really quick. How do I find? Okay, how can I go back in the stream and actually clip this for you? Because I actually don't functionally know how to do this, and I want to demonstrate that I actually did come in here in good faith. Because I actually.
You actually came in here in good faith. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm looking at my chat. Like all right, listen. Everyone seems to agree that you're like either trolling or very, like seriously trying to gaslight. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm literally trying to ask you for help so I can provide you with the evidence right now. That's what I'm doing.
I'm pretty sure you're able to go back. Oh, if you're not,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I make it so that only subscribers or followers, one of the two, are able to clip. Because often people come in here and they try to like pull some shit where they like, I don't know.
Yeah. I understand. They're trying to clip snipe you, and I get that.
Exactly.
Like I'm following you. My issue is that I I'm trying to figure out how to clip this, but I can't actually go back into the stream to clip. I don't know.
Then I don't know what to do for
Should
you.
I
Anyway,
set my
I don't know. This has been super fun. Sounds like
VODs too. Although it's
are you on YouTube
would not be able to watch the VODs if they weren't
subscribed.
subscribed.
Okay, then I might actually be able to clip it from there. What's up?
Do you got any final memes?
Any final memes?
I mean, sure, yeah. Like, I mean, I came in here to argue.
I came in here to
argue that Republicans didn't believe this, not whether or not they were complicit in supporting the positions. I mean, you're sort of moving the goalposts on this particular issue if you want.
Hold on. Actually, where did I say that all Republicans believe this?
Well, I didn't say that. I said Republicans unironically think they're all terrorists. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because. Hold on, wait. So actually, we weren't talking about the black comment in the first place. So actually, I don't know why you commented on that in the first place.
A final meme.
I disagree with that one as well.
Fun.
I don't think that Republicans believe that black people are invading the suburbs.
You don't think that Republicans think that black people are invading the suburbs? All right, cool. I've had enough of this. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I'm sorry. I cannot believe that guy wasn't a fucking troll. I can't believe that guy wasn't a fucking troll. I'm sorry.
See, like, I would say something, but, like, apparently...
Yeah, it was a short one. I just wanted to watch it.
Apparently you don't, like, talk shit about Drew Welty.
Okay, hold on. They're both messaging me.
It's my...
They're both. They both went and cried to Princeton. That is beautiful. Please take my side, Princeton. This other debate lord was mean.
Nick the Dick.
Okay.
Is this mallet or hammer going to be good later, guys? Because when you upgrade it, it literally only adds to the fucking frost damage. Am I going to run into a bunch of creatures that are immune to frost? I'm not upgrading this again either. This takes way too much silver.
Parasocial much. You can fry shrimp with the mallet?
Hey, what's happening?
Can you put them in your cereal box?
Wait.
Yeah, that's about right.
Give me like 10 minutes, okay?
Cereal
Because I told you I talked to him already, so I don't want to... I'm not preferring one or the other. I just already told him, okay? But I'll be back, okay?
Shrimp.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, what's up?
Hey, so can I get your perception about this? Because
wait,
do you feel like I was being a gaslighting crazy maker in this conversation?
Okay, no.
Okay, because she's currently editing a video saying...
Okay, don't worry about the edited video, okay? Listen. I don't know what it is about you Peterson stands, okay? You guys seem to have a really hard understanding of how other people, like, look at things. Logically, I think from a... Like, if we were to write your arguments out or whatever, everything you said is 100% correct, okay?
Yeah.
But...
Wait, Lindsay?
Coming into that conversation, I think you need to understand that what you have to hone in on
getting canceled?
If
Not
somebody,
really
if you've got a
canceled.
widespread group of people that support a particular leader, it is possible that those individuals don't share a belief that that leader professes, but most people aren't going to intuitively buy into that, right?
Right, yeah.
That has to be like, yeah. And I think that you should have opened with that. I think instead of trying to deny or trying to talk around it, which you didn't that much, but I think you need to like confront that head on. We need to be like, hey, listen, okay, I'm not here to defend any statements from Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said some shit that I think is absolutely agreeable with your tweet. I do think Donald Trump weaponizes fear. I do think he's probably racist. I do think he's anti-Muslim. However, just because Trump says it, I don't think that there's a lot of I don't think that there's a lot of people on the ground, Republicans, that genuinely buy into every single belief that Trump has. In order to do that, I think we would need to see polling data about what Republicans believe. For instance, you probably don't believe in every single belief that Biden has, but I'm sure you voted for him, right? That would be like, I think you have to approach it from there because I think what most other people are going to hear when you say that, like, well, that's not necessarily true, is in their mind, what they're seeing is you're essentially making the argument that all these people support a person, but they don't support any of the things that they're saying.
I don't think
that's what the other side is hearing, which is impossible to believe, right? Do you understand the disconnect?
The posture that she ended up taking was just like not
just to give like sort
one
of
that's gonna like
where I was coming in from, like my frame of mind coming into this. I think that part of the problem with the like discourse right now is that we like consider like the other side to have the most extreme versions of everybody's beliefs. So like the right will be like, oh, the left just like wants to take your children and like forcefully transition, which is obviously fucking ridiculous, right?
Sure, I'm probably not going to disagree with anything you're going to say. I do agree that that's a huge problem. Okay. I'm merely pointing out that in this conversation that what you're laying down, a lot of people intuitively are going to fight, kick, and scream against, because it sounds very, very weird.
Yeah, sure. And my only point here is just I just wanted people to understand that like there's a little bit more nuance than conservatives think all Muslims are racist. That's like basically was my entire point. And then I feel like, I just feel like I'm being mischaracterized as a bad faith actor afterwards because of it. Even though I feel like this conversation has essentially nothing to do with me being bad faith.
Sure. Also, another thing you have to be very careful of is when somebody is upset in a conversation, don't ever say their name because it is
100%. By the way, 100%. When I went back and I watched, so like I was really frustrated in the moment, and when I went back and watched, I was like, you know what, fuck, like this comes across really bad, and like so I made a response to this, and in that response I apologize for it because like it comes across really fucking.
Even if you don't intend it to be that, I had a supervisor at the casino, and she would always call people honey, even if they were upset, and she didn't mean it, but it would come off as really condescending.
100%, and that and whatever like my intentions were, her feelings on it are valid, and I apologize for that. To be perfectly clear about that, that was not my intention, but regardless, I apologize for that. It was not my intention.
Okay, gotcha. What's the?
Yep.
What else? Anything else?
No, just I assume she's gonna get in here and try to say I'm a bad actor and shit. And whatever. I mean, obviously that wasn't the impression you got, so I look forward to seeing what she says about me. Because
no,
damn, you're just a Peterson stan. You're not a bad faith actor. You're
that's totally fine. I'm just saying if she comes in saying he's a piece of shit, he's a bad faith actor, I think that's unfair. But the audience can judge for themselves, I guess. And by the way, the reason I wanted to like not prime you for this is so I could get your honest impression of this.
He
I'm trying to demonstrate that I'm trying to be as honest
is a little
as
bit of
possible.
a bad. He whinges.
So, regardless,
he's a whingy little weasel.
Want to go into like her like
he'll be like. He's the kind of guy that if you were playing basketball against Drew Welty,
I have no idea any video she's made.
You'd be like, dribbling the ball and going in.
Yeah, I think it's literally.
And he would all of a sudden like fall on the floor and be like, oh. I just got, and you didn't even touch him, and he's like on the floor, like complaining to the ref. Like that's actually that's the kind of debate lord he is.
Wow, thank you for permission. Okay.
But I mean, I guess whatever's clever, right?
See you later, buddy. Bye.
Right. Whatever's clever.
Aw, Nick the Dick. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
He's not talking about.
Again?
Okay.
He's not talking about the Nick I know. Is he?
Oh wait, sorry, I was muted. I'm trying to.
Oh, that how you doing? That wasn't to you, Nick. That was to Riley.
That was to Riley, Nick.
No worries, I'm muted.
Get back in mute. Get back in mute.
All right, so I was listening.
Mute yourself.
To Drew.
Drew is flinching a lot. Yes.
So I have two main things that are miffing me about the conversation. Well, I mean, so first to cover like the video bit. The only reason I'm going back over, so basically what I'm doing right now is I'm going back over the debate, kind of like point with my stream, and I'm just kind of like, whenever something comes up, because I realize upon reflection, like I acknowledge that there are some things I did wrong in the debate. Like I'm not going to deny that, right? But like looking back on it, like I cannot sit here and say that like he's not at fault for some really like central shit. I mean, like we already kind of like it seems
he was full of shit.
Like, the
he's wrong.
So
yeah, for sure.
I don't think he was bad faith
but as far as
this
like
time.
the central argument, and you were bringing this up, like
I wouldn't be
This
surprised
is a different argument from what was being discussed earlier.
if he was, because I have seen him match like that before, but like I didn't see it
in the conversation. Ever was making the argument that every Republican believes these things. I never said that at any point.
How did Riley? Was Riley like legit that mad?
When that
I couldn't tell. Like I assumed she was doing the tactic,
and it only
the basic debate tactic of, oh my god, you're giving me an aneurysm.
Because like at the first time he brought it up, I was like, no.
Because what you're saying is so ridiculous.
Right? And he said, well, it feels like you're actually saying something different. And that's when the conversation shifted to talking about, okay, well, what does every Republican believe? Because that's what he was trying to make my position out to be.
Yeah, I think the issue is that when you bring up that, like, if somebody would have, and I'd have to go back and look at the exact line, but when somebody says something like, I don't think every person believes this, and then you say, well, every person supported this person, it's hard to say if you're, or from his feeling, I would imagine, it's hard to tell, are you making a separate argument now that somebody can implicitly support a position even if they don't necessarily have it, or are you trying to use that as evidence for them actually supporting the position? I think is the confusing part.
Doobie's Discord has a Groyper chat?
How someone could get that impression. We're talking about what position.
Dude, okay, like I'm so glad I have nothing to do with Prime.
Never making
or Doobie
argument. And I don't think I ever made the argument at any point
Eris
that, like,
is
every
based.
single Republican
we must save
believes
Eris.
these things. And I think I could even acknowledge that I defined like
two
categories of person.
Eris refuge, because
like
Eris is not like
agree with these things
Eris
overtly,
not like
or is fine with them and doesn't do anything about them. Like I could even acknowledge that there's like Republicans.
Eris's Discord is still cursed. Yeah.
Like, I was trying to figure out what like these boots on the ground Republicans are. That
Doobie's like worse than cursed though. Fucking
just like voters.
What a piece of shit, dude. I fucking told you, dude. And he's gonna like if
even voters, right?
You know that like when somebody brings this up, he's gonna be like, "Hey, free speech."
Or like one of the main cornerstones.
Free speech. I don't like Nick Fuentes. I don't like him.
Yeah, so I think what we would look for is rather than trying to use support of Trump as a proxy for these beliefs, we would just Google like popularity border wall Republican Party, and then you could demonstrate easily like, okay, well look, this percentage of Republicans support like the border wall. They support Trump, therefore they support the border wall.
Some shit like that, maybe.
And I suppose this is like the second part of it, right? Is that he asked for
infrastructure is the next legislative fight in the Senate agenda.
And I think that like kind of. Because these claims came off as kind of absurd to me, right? Like the idea that like Trump isn't like an accurate representation of at least what a decent amount of Republicans believe to some degree. like that came off to me as like an absurd claim.
It kind of is, but we could entertain a world where that's possible. It just doesn't feel very intuitive. So, for instance, an example that I talked about this, an example that I give sometimes is
it's a pretty simple
not everybody that
answer.
was part of the KKK a long time ago
Drew's
was
trying
actually
to
like
make
this
it
racist,
out.
horrible person that hated black
Like,
people. For a lot of people, the KKK was just like,
guess,
this kind of existed
like
in your
a more
community, and it was
normal
just kind of
conservative
expected
than
that
he
you were
actually
part
is.
of the KKK.
He's not
you were
normal.
in these particular
He's a
communities. It was
weirdo.
almost akin to like a religion.
And I'm not saying this to be judgmental. I'm just
but
saying
if I were to show
among
an average person,
Republicans,
you know, like, well, look at this Klansman, right?
not
Like,
standing
this guy is
Trump. It's
definitely
pretty
racist.
weird.
He's in the fucking KKK.
Pretty damn weird.
A lot of people, you got two ends, right? Where some
Everybody
people are like,
else
well,
got
this is obviously
swept
true.
up.
He's in the fucking KKK. Whereas other people are like, well, hold on. Just because they're in that organization doesn't necessarily mean they subscribe to even what the leader says. Right? And you can make this argument about
save
religions
Eris
as well,
for
et
real.
cetera, et cetera.
We gotta save Eris
But
from
no, I'm not trying to say
Groypers.
whether your argument is right or wrong.
Yuck.
I'm just saying that, like,
And Booger
using
Neck.
Trump as a demonstration for what an average Republican believes, if somebody wants stronger evidence, we would have to
Is
go
that
to
what
polling
Destiny
data
was
and actually
listening to?
demonstrate that, I think.
Yeah, and that's why that's kind of why I'm going back through, because the reason why usually, like, there are some things which, I'm not saying that data is not important, but there are some things where we can kind of understand what the data is going to broadly be. And afterwards, I went back and I looked with I've been looking with my chat, like, recent polling data, like, as soon as, like, towards the end of the election, like, even after the 6th had occurred, like, Trump's polling data was still, like, massively high among Republicans.
Chat, why did we get so many fucked up right-wing trolls
higher,
tonight? That was fucked up,
even
huh?
After,
that was really fucked
the
up.
6th, and, like, past Republicans closer to their election, right?
What did I do?
And
was I, like, extra spicy or
seems to me
something?
that, like, usually whenever I ask people for data,
Did I get too spicy?
Like, whenever
Were
I
my
ask
memes
people for
too
data, it's
spicy?
usually if I am challenging, or there's
Did
an
I hit
idea
him with the
that's being challenged
spicy
that's
memes?
not pretty intuitive already, right? Like, for example, there are some things that, like, we probably don't want to spend conversations having to prove, like 2 + 2 = 4. We don't want to have to, like, technically we could go through the whole conversation about, like,
the thing
why
is,
2
some
+
of the
2 =
shit
4.
Sure, and I kind of understand that, but the problem is that this
especially if
claim
you
is
want to
literally
discourse with a
central to the
right-winger.
disagreement, right?
You gotta prove that shit. You
Is
can't
there a
just be
meaningful
like,
difference between
come
what
on,
an average
Law and
Republican
Order,
voter believes in
that's
versus
racist.
a
To a
Republican leader
Republican,
like Trump?
you
So I think
sound
that in
crazy
this
for
case,
saying
this
that.
is like this is the disagreement. You can't
We
just assume
all
that away because it's
understand
kind of your
that
entire
because we've
argument.
got
That's
the
his entire
background.
contention, right?
They're
Like, we'd have
missing
to
that.
actually
You
look
at least got to
polling
make
data.
an attempt to
Because
walk them through
essentially
that.
the way we've structured
It
this
might
is he's
not
coming in
work.
saying,
They
like,
might reject
well,
it. They
I
might
don't
find
think
something to
that
hang up on,
Trump
some little
is
detail
necessarily
to
reflective
catch
of
you on and
Republican
be like,
voters. And then your response is kind of like, well, that's just so ridiculous.
you
I'm
gotta
just going to
try.
assume it's false. Right? We have,
That's
if
where
we're
you
going to
gotta
get,
go
we
with
could
it.
say that, but then we would never have a
Or
conversation
just
with
be
the
like,
person. We just
it's
call
so
them stupid and move on.
basic. I
But
don't
if we're
have
going to
to
engage in an
know.
argument,
No,
then we
you
probably
do.
have
You
to, like,
actually
have some
do, and
polling data
it's
to
a pain in the
demonstrate what the
ass,
average black
and it
Republican believes, I
sucks.
think.
But it's like,
Right, and that's kind
it's
of why
like
I'm
when you're
going
playing
back
this
through.
game,
I can understand that.
Valheim,
If I could go
and you wanted to go
through
do
the
something,
conversation,
you know,
in that
big,
moment, like, when
you
he
know,
made that
get
kind of absurd claim, I should have,
iron,
like,
but
taken
then
time
you
to be like,
realize
okay, this
before
is
I get
absolutely
iron,
absurd.
I've got to get like
we're gonna go through the data. We're gonna pull up the data right now and see what polling data is currently.
Because I got to do this, this, and that, and the other. It's like that. It's a pain in the ass.
That's kind of why I'm going back. Like, the only reason I'm going back through and, like, editing together
So much spice that you might think I was a
when something comes up,
servant.
like when he talks in a demeaning way to me, or when he says something which would require me to have, like, evidence to be able to show. Like, the most important thing to me is just being
Fuck ton of
accurate. And
carrots.
so, like, if I didn't present data at the
And
time, I'm just
ingredients
gonna, like,
for soup
link
and
to it,
stew.
like, on the video and be like, hey,
I haven't
this
got
is
to
what
that
the
part
data shows
until
right
it's
now.
slowly, though.
And
Like, that's what's important to me.
Yeah, and the kind of the disappointing part is
My chat won't
could
let
be
me play
wrong,
enough
but I'm
Valheim.
pretty sure that if you show him that data, he would be forced to acknowledge it and concede some of his position. So there could have actually been progress on the conversation, such that maybe even afterwards he would realize that he would need to qualify his statements more, because he would be forced to acknowledge, like, okay, yeah, it does seem like a lot of Republicans do believe some of this stuff. Like, I'm not going to buy into maybe this claim or this claim, but I mean, at least for, like, support of the border wall or support of the Muslim ban or
spice
support
is
of
appreciated.
like, yeah, it does look like I'm going to have to kind of admit that a lot of Republicans do believe that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, you can, like, I even said at the beginning of the conversation, like, he sounded like a reasonable person. I just got the impression towards the end, and I mean, like, that impression, for whatever, like, your audience can take whatever you want of this opinion. Like, it seems like he was not arguing anything remotely close to what he was saying, like, in the tweets that had brought about the discussion in the first place.
I haven't read the tweets
and it
either,
seems
so
like,
maybe
especially
maybe
when
we'll look at those
he said that he took no
afterwards.
issue with the initial tweet
And then
that
I'll
I made.
I'll
and then,
rewatch the beginning of the
but even
debate
though,
just so
like,
we'll have
that was the
that, and
thing
then
that
like
kind of,
somehow do edit it all
like, even
together.
though he said earlier in a different tweet, like right before I brought him on,
Oh my
that,
god!
like, the reason that he,
Maybe I'll start with the. I'll
disagreed
start with the
with me was that I was using, like, those other examples as
tweets,
support for, like,
and
the
then
claim that he later
go
on
to
said
the
that he didn't
beginning.
disagree with. Like, it just seemed very contradictory.
It'll
and
just
that's
be
why
a
I said
bunch
that was
of
very
cuts
confusing
and
to me.
edits.
I went
and
back,
stuff.
and in the stream, you did say
that's okay, Chat. You don't have to worry about
like,
that. You don't have to edit
that he
it.
took
That's
issue
me.
with, like those
that's my
those individual
Sunday.
examples, but like that seems to be contradictory to what he had said on Twitter. And so right now, it's very hard for me.
Oh,
to
you
look
missed
at
the
that
Valheim part of the
some
stream?
things
Oh
that
yeah,
unfold
that's
and
right.
say
It
that,
was
I
like
can believe
sleepy
he's a good
time.
actor. Now you can believe
for
that
you
if you want to.
probably.
That's fine. I mean, like I certainly have a higher opinion of him. Like I heard him on here and he apologized for demeaning to me, and if like he meant that, and if he's going to stop, then like I can't issue that. Like that's good. And I appreciate it.
Sure.
How did I miss that?
But, like when the entire conversation was essentially about something that I didn't even like make as a position to
did he demean her in the tweets?
And then like the whole conversation turns into arguing against something that he
wait,
wants to instead of something
I
that
might
I
have wait
said.
what I wonder what
it's really hard for
clickbait
me to leave that with like a good
I wonder what clickbait she I'm guessing that she responded to some clickbait of his.
So yeah, I don't know. Your community can like like Drew said, you can do whatever you want with that, but you know.
All right, well, good luck. Be careful. Stay safe. Are you going to the Kenosha thing?
Oh yeah, no, I am. Actually, so I'm gonna be apparently on a panel with. So John Doyle is gonna be on there, and then Actual Justice Warrior, I think. And then there's one guy. So basically, it's gonna be me, and then 3 conservatives. That'll be great.
Sounds awesome.
And then yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be great. And then there's going to be, one guy, I can't remember his name. He just has like a big Twitter presence, and I think that's like the main thing he's known for. He has dude and bruh as his pronouns in his profile picture, and he has like a big beard. I remember
promising.
that. I can't remember anything else about him. I just remember glancing over his profile and being like, all right, I don't know who this dude is. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you know what you're going to be talking about there?
I don't know, but I hope they put me on more combative panels, so we'll see.
All right.
I don't know anything that I'm talking about yet. I don't even know if I'm scheduled for anything yet. Maybe they're gonna fuck me. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll certainly see. But yeah. No. I mean, like, I imagine we'll see each other there. So let's meet up and like get coffee or something.
Hot chocolate, but okay, deal. Be careful, all right?
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye.
He doesn't drink coffee.